Exclamation mark B. This is our schedule for today, guys. Believe it or not, but we are here. What the hell are we doing over here? I'm feeling like that meme, you know. What is this place? Number 12? The only thing I know about 12 is either being first or second, because that's what we do. Number 12. Today's a banger day in the WTL-Guest-Member. We have Mystery Gaming versus us. BASILISK plus ShoWTimE. I really don't know why they give us this logo, by the way. Well, we have a logo, but they could have just gone for the regular BASILISK. I really don't understand. It's so stupid, in my opinion, but okay. And then we have a Team Liquid versus the Shopify Rebellion. I love it. You guys love it. It's going to be sick. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stream. I think some Chinese ads are running right now. You guys know the drill. I'm not allowed to join these games, so we have to watch the stream. And then we can only pray that the stream quality is good, reliable, consistent. That is the plan. And WTL-Guest-Member. Is very quick. Serral's literally playing today, mate. I just showed it to you. Like 5 seconds ago. Serral, save us. Indeed. That's where we are. Serral, save us. But also, happy to see Reynor play. These are the most recent results. Seems like the Platinum Heroes got absolutely slaughtered by DKZ. The Jaishi guy is having the season of his life. And Twisted Fairy getting a 4-2 victory over Berserker Esports. I'm excited for today, guys. I'm going to go ahead and grab myself a drink because this coffee is old and cold. And by the time that I come back, hopefully it is time to hop into Reynor versus Strange. There's not really a whole lot of voiceover I can do here. We get to see Yona play some video games. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I'm excited for it. Hey, I want to take a look at these numbers, by the way. What ELO do I have? I got to be high ranked now with all those victories that I've been farming. Our man Xiaosu. I think in WTL we do this, by the way. We do our cam here. Serral 874, Reynor 743. Am I the third best player on BASILISK? Woo! I'll take that. Higher than Trigger, higher than Demauer. Alright, I guess next play day it's time, baby. Roddy's coming. These are the lineups for today. Reynor versus Strange. What are you laughing about, Super Flamingo? That's weird to you? Have you ever seen me do a lap on Zandvoort or Austria? I'm an absolute animal. Giving me that kind of ELO is not strange. And by the time that I make my debut, it's going to be even better. Are we just starting immediately? Hype. Give me 1 sec, guys. Let me grab some drink. A drink and a cheesecake. Vamos! Oh. Oh. Maybe Reynor is finally able to do what he wanted to do, guys. Maybe Reynor is finally able to show us what was the original plan when he played on this map, Ghost River versus Hero. I assume this was a 12 pool with a drone on the other side of the map. I'm gonna hedge block. I'm going to flex my captain's armband. This was the filled hero build. Yes, I guess this is kind of what Reynor had in mind. I have to admit that this still doesn't look that yippee-yi-yo to me, to be completely honest. 2 minutes 47 seconds in. Lings were never able to break in. I think the original idea is still to build a hatchery as part of the wall off, but I guess that got denied while I was sprinting in the background because I actually had a couple coffees and I really had to go to the restroom. I'm not sure what we are cooking here, but I'd be lying if I tell you that I love this start. Basilisk vs Mystery Gaming, guys. The results so far are in the stream title too. That is something I'm going to do from here on out. I think that makes it a bit easier for you guys to figure out what you're watching. 4-gate glaive is a gnarly follow-up here, and Strange is apparently just not expanding. He's just gonna go send it on one base. I am worried about this because Reynor, guys, has gone for a 12 pool and a filled hatch on the other side of the map, and now he's gonna have to deal with a 4-gate resonating glaive adept attack. And that seems incredibly terrifying to me. And I don't think he has any idea that this is happening. If you look at where Reynor's Overlord is, it is nowhere near the natural. What's happening this season in WTL-Guest-Member? I mean, it's a long clan war, and I'm not mega worried yet. Strange is now dropping the expand, by the way, but it's 4 minutes in. Reynor is at least going to get one adept here. He's not going to get the second one here, but maybe a little bit later. We're going to try to kill it with drones in the main, but it's so clumsy, so awkward. This is a bad start. This is a really bad start. In what universe does Reynor now deal with 4-gate resonating glaive adept? He plays glaives very often, but I don't think that we can say that Strange plays 4-gate resonating glaive before an expand very often. I don't think that's going to happen a whole lot. You excited for the first Basilisk 6-0 of the season? Can we change that into a 5-1, mate? I'll be incredibly happy with any win. We've got Yona playing today, so that makes me happy. Reynor does spot all these adepts now. The Roach one is only 30% done. I don't know what you do here. Yeah, he's obviously moving out now. Strange is down 16 workers, but these adepts are going to be so damn difficult to clean up. If Reynor does successfully clean this up, I'll be mega impressed. He's gonna let that shade finish up. Reynor does not quite want to take this fight, but in the end he realized that, hey, maybe with 4 queens and this many links, we can kind of at least reduce the adept numbers a tiny bit. As we have 10 more additional links on the way. We're gonna have to pull the drones away from the main. I mean, so far this is more than acceptable. More than acceptable. Like, Reynor could lose 10 workers here and I still love it. As long as we eventually have an answer for the DTs. It's actually really good. Like, sure, this looks painful. Lost mining time. Links are falling. Yada yada. All of this is painful. But we're not gonna die to this. And that makes me very happy. Now, the only thing we need to make sure that we don't die to are DTs. I don't see a Warp Prism. I don't think there's a Robo. I don't see a Pylon on this side of the map. So those DTs are gonna have to be warped in at home. Come on, Reynor. If things are too good to be true in Starcraft 2, when you go up against good Starcraft 2 players, they usually are, and that means there is a follow-up. I think Reynor has to know that Strange could have played this with a Robo. He could have been more committed. Here come the DTs. We don't have a lair, obviously, so no obviously. There's the first spore. One spore, I feel like it's almost all we need to at least be alive. Because we can move it around, we can transfuse it, and then we can use one spore to get up the extra spores. 3 DTs are coming, and I think they're going to right-click on that spore crawler. Or is he going to split them up in different bases? Reynor now sees it, I think. Hopefully Reynor sees it. Hopefully we move our units. Oh, can we get one? We get one. That's the start. Now we need to somehow get more spores online. And the third hatch is falling. Oh, this is sick, actually. The full surround on the spore is excellent by Reynor. Somehow keeps the spore alive, and with transfuses, he's going to be able to keep the third. Oh my goodness, Reynor! Whew! Okay. I mean, I'm not saying that we are crushing right now, that we're winning, but that was 10 out of 10. Excellent. Holy smokes. Saving that spore in the main with a full surround of his own units, making it impossible for that DT to attack it, and then bringing the queens over in time to save the third. Obviously, we are down in workers, but we're heavily up in army supply. And we're gonna kill this DT too. How did the DT get pushed away from the spore? That's just one of the mechanics in the game. Well, a long time ago, we had a legendary hatchery save by Nurcho at a Home Story Cup. Don't ask me what Home Story Cup that was, but it's the Home Story Cup where Nurcho was an absolute god. And we had DTs over Korean Protoss. I think it was Yonghwa, but it could have been First, any of those guys. Attacking a hatch, and Nurcho kept on right-clicking his Zerglings and his Roaches and his Queens around the hatch, and eventually he pushed the DT away, saved the hatch, won the game, won the tournament. Nurcho was an absolute god in his early days. Amazing recovery by Reynor, man, as we are actually going to get the sentry. No, we're not going to get the sentry, that's unlucky. But we're about to get a lair, we can fire up Roach speed. And then Reynor can maybe get a couple Roaches, Ravagers, a little bit of crit going. Maybe we can snipe that sentry? I don't think we want to go for this. Oh, force field would be mega painful here. Thank the Lord that he used that force field in his natural to keep the Lings at bay. If that is a force field there with an Immortal, 4 Adapts, 2 DTs, we lose 7 Roaches for basically nothing. Maybe 1 Adapt. Thank you, SCT2 for gifting a subby to Medicine1. I like Medicine1. He's a very passionate viewer. Very active. Coco sent me a funny link this morning of a guy who has 400,000 views on a coding video on YouTube. He explains coding, but while he was talking about how he gets into his coding mode, he showed us other things that help him get into the zone. And then he's like, at the first step, I've got my Twitch. And with that Twitch, he had my stream open on the Monday night during the weekly. And I thought that was kind of cool. 400,000 views, some coder watching Roddy on a Monday night. Those are the little things that bring a lot of joy and happiness. Amazing that Reynor still has the confidence to fire up a hive this freaking quickly. I kind of feel like we just need to make sure that we don't die here. Reynor looks at his army and thinks that he can at least shave off some units, but the road speed wasn't even done yet in the beginning of this fight. And I think this is an incredibly ugly start to the fight. We lost a lot there for incredibly little, but we did force the sentries to use all their energy. And Strange seems to be a tiny bit intimidated by the amount of units he sees. Surprised that he's so afraid of this army. I think with a bit of War Prism juggling, the Immortals still have their barriers. I don't think that would have been a bad fight. Yeah, I think so as well soon. I was thinking of that. I was like, yeah, you never really know who's watching. I mean, I had a great time yesterday. Yesterday, as you guys know, I wasn't streaming. And I met up with a Warcraft 3 friend that I haven't seen in 17 years. And he actually, just talking about the scene, talking about the game and the commentators. It's obvious that he watches me a crazy amount. And I'm like, why you never say anything? He's like, oh, I'm just not much of a Twitch chatter. But it's really cool to know that. You always have those people out there that are listening to almost every single word you say. Watch the vast majority of your streams, even if they don't participate in the Twitch chat. I had a very wholesome, fun day, meeting up with an old friend. He was incredibly kind to the way that I remember him. He was very sweet to Zombie Grub as well. He told me multiple times that he watches all the Starcraft tournaments and he listens to all of our commentary. He's not a fan of everyone. I'm not going to say who he didn't like because I think that's useless to share. But he did tell me multiple times that he loves Zombie Grub, that he thinks Zombie Grub is amazing. He said he feels that he deserves a lot more love and recognition for all of her work. So I shared that message with ZG and he loved it. He thought it was awesome. Strange has double Roba and he has a pretty terrifying army. We have a bunch of lurkers though. Attacking through a choke point into lurkers, I would say is very risky, very ambitious. Strange still thinks that his army is good enough to do this. I kind of feel like once you make moves like this, you gotta keep on going. Because the hardest thing as a Protoss is to actually get close, right? Get in range. Kind of feel that Strange was in range there, as Reynor has split off so much army supply. I think that was the ops died. Okay, I could not see that. The quality is not that great. Alright, that's a good reason to disengage, guys. If the observer died, that's a very good reason to disengage. Thank you, Fion, for catching that. If the op stays alive there, I actually think that Strange's army was good enough to break Reynor there. Excellent first game of our clan war between Strange and Reynor. It's a very different one. It's a very odd one, but I like it. Two more Archons on the way. Reynor's lurker count is getting up. Seismic Spines finished up a little while ago, and we are 15-20 seconds away from having the adoptive talents as well, which makes the lurkers burrow and unburrow a bit quicker. And it helps out overall, making sure that we're in the right spot. Because Strange does not have that many workers, his potential maxed out army is absolutely freaking terrifying. But the good news is that he doesn't have Storm. I kind of feel if it's just Archon Immortal, I mean, we can't underestimate it. We can't think that this is going to be easy for Reynor. But this is maybe where, like, Vipers would be absolutely freaking fantastic too, no? Think of, like, a Blinding Cloud or two. It would be amazing. Reynor is going to be able to do something on the other side of the map. Strange just wants this game to be over with. The Observers are sitting in the back. I don't think he's got detection for all the lurkers. He's got detection for a few, but no, Strange, that was not it. That was a superior lurker concave, and finally the lurkers look good, and Reynor looks damn good as well. Bad start for our boy. Looks a little sad. I always want to give him a hug. And then I realized that he might be a bit smelly today, so I don't want to give him a hug. But he keeps it together, and he turns things around. Let's go. Vamos, Reynor. He wants this game to be over. That's kind of what it felt like, no? The worker count wasn't that high. His army was monstrous, and he just kept on attacking. Reynor is an animal. We need a win today, guys. I know it's a long season in WTL Code S, and for some teams starting off 0-2 is terrifying. I'm not terrified. I'm obviously full of confidence that Basilisk will have a strong run today. And I hope that the third time is the charm, not just today, throughout the entire season. I hope the third time is the charm, not just for the third clan war of the season, but also for our third attempt of winning it all. A false start, but hey. I'd rather have a bad start to the regular season once and then peak in the playoffs than be invincible in the regular season but get unlucky in the playoffs. So we decided to flip the script this season. It's all good. I think he would have yawned, because that army of Strange looked very strong. Looked very powerful. Let's go back. While we wait for this game to continue, let's go back to that first big attack. It's sometimes a bit hard to see what's up exactly, right? Because the quality is not that high. Alright. So this is potentially the scariest moment in this game, where Strange got 97 army supply with +2. Basically all of his army supply is here, while Reynor has 103 army supply +1 missile attacks. But Seismic Spines isn't done yet, +2 isn't done yet, and he has so much supply in the bottom left. I know it's covered by that play button. This is a terrifying moment. And if this Observer right here does not die, Reynor could be in all sorts of trouble. But this is where the Observer is. The Queens go for it immediately. You could see that Reynor really went for it, because he actually moved the Overseer along with the Observer. So Reynor knew what his condition was there. Yeah, this many Archons, and what is that? Is that 7 Immortals? 6 Immortals? 7. Yeah. If he has a backup Observer here, or he doesn't lose that Observer, we are in serious trouble.
One shot, one kill.
One shot, one kill. We'll take it. And game 2 will be played on Dynasty. In the top right side of Dynasty. I believe this is his favorite map, guys. Reynor actually has a comment in his channel for the love that he has for Dynasty. It's a beautiful map, and he really loves the dynamics around the gold base and all the different ways that Zor cannot take it. Well, he's going to switch it up, and he is actually going to try to take it this time around. Bottom left side, going Nexus first. Honestly, I kind of like this for Reynor, by the way. It is the Russian Pro player Strange for Mystery Gaming. Nexus first, of course, it gives Protoss a great economy, yada yada yada. But it's also important to keep in mind that with Nexus first, your first units are out later, your first tech building is out later, and that means that it's harder to contain the initial creep tumors. And if Reynor can just get a bit of creep going for himself, I'm not too worried about his chances in this game. Our boy does look a tiny bit out of it, doesn't he? No Zerg can ever take the base, and we take it as a mega base. I wonder if he maybe wants to make some Ravages early. The problem with going Ravages obviously is that you're not going to get a whole lot done against the Stargate. And I do kind of expect Strange to open up with a Stargate. Maybe if we go Stargate, then Reynor can just play Macro. And then if we play Macro, we've got a great economy. Haven't really seen Nexus first at the gold against the Mega Base opening from a Zerg play out yet on this map. I'm really curious to see what both parties decide to do. And who do we like it for? Hello, Bamas. And hello, Ligo. We're up 1-0. We're feeling good. Chrono boosting a Stalker. Tiny bit odd to me. I'm not exactly sure why we really want to Chrono boost the Stalker. Do you guys think that Strange is worried about Reynor making roaches, relling? Wow, a forge too, okay. I think I like this for Reynor, man. Zerg economies simply grow quicker than Protoss economies do. If both players do nothing, that works out better for the Zerg. As obviously Zerg does not have to build one drone at a time. We can build way more drones at once. I hope that this Overlord can get the scout off on the forge and the Robo. Yeah, of course he took the very rich Vespian Geyser. Yes. Our good friend Demu would call it. It's a perfect scout by Reynor. I really like this. I'm not too worried. Even... yeah, maybe he was... I have no idea what why Strange played the way that he did, but... I like it for us, I'll say that much. I'm actually really digging Reynor's scouting too. So far everything has been perfect. We had the links on the other side of the gold mineral, so we could see how many workers were there. Then we have an Overlord that spots the Forge, the Stalker, the Sentry, and the Robo. And the moment that Strange drops the third Nexus, we have a Zergling, giving Reynor the heads up that there is a third Nexus. Don't think that Reynor really could have done a whole lot better when it comes to scouting. And that makes me happy. He is making a lot of roaches now. Maybe Reynor is a bit worried about like an early move out with a War Prism and a Mortar and some sentries. As the Lynx, by the way, should be able to take a decent fight here. There's no shield battery. Maybe another force field is mandatory here for Strange. As he loses the Stalker, loses the Sentry, loses the Zealot. The Reynor is flying. Can he get that final Sentry? We're not going to get that. But we'll take that for just a couple Lynx. As he is just ready to send it. We've built a lot of roaches. I was wondering if we were worried. Reynor is not worried. Reynor just says, Roddy, I can find some good damage. Either I'm gonna kill him in the low ground third base, or I can move my Ravages to the gold and deny mining forever. Reducing the amount of force fields that are available to Strange is awesome. Strange has got very, very, very little army supply, and he's got no freaking idea. Where Reynor has scouted everything from the beginning, I feel like Strange has been blind as a bat. And he's about to get swarmed. Here comes the swarm. We're going to take care of that force field. We're going to take care of the pylon. And that means no battery overcharge. No cannon that can participate in the fight. And this many Zerg units, guys. I don't care how good those bloody immortals are. Yes, they never die. Yes, they are amazing. Backed up by Storm and Archons and Guardian Shield. But in moments like this, they suck. It's our boy. He's back, baby. Give me a celebration, Reynor. You know, to get an easy bonus, what you should do is play a series with your hoodie on, and then the moment you get the 2-0, you take the hoodie off, and it turns off that you shaved all your hair off. If that's not a bonus, I don't know what is. Worth it for 80 buckies. Who needs hair anyway? So that is a excellent start. Let's go ahead and settle that prediction and get ready for the next one. Well done, Reynor. Rough start on Ghost River. Oh, we turned it into a dub. ShoWTimE with another PvP. The third PvP of the season for D-Mauer. Oh. Cyan is really good, by the way. Do not sleep on him. In my mind, Cyan is better than Jaishi. And Jaishi did get the 2-0. But I believe that D-Mauer will bounce back. I am confident. And we get to see some Yoda. I love Yona. When people say you never truly know what you have until it's gone, I actually believe they're not talking about relationships that ended and they were happy with their partner. I believe they were talking about having Yona in your lineup every single week. And then he's gone for 2 weeks and you're like, oh my god, I love you. Come back. We need you. I'm sorry I didn't appreciate you the way that I should have. That's how I feel about Yona, guys. I'm sorry I was not the perfect man. And I didn't show gratitude and appreciation and love the way that I should have. So the reason why we went this week without Trigger, I mean the thing is already over. Like we've already set the lineup, so I don't mind sharing that with you guys. It's obviously we've got 4 amazing players at the moment. We do really need a win, but that's not why I didn't use Trigger. It's just that Yona was available, and if Yona is available, of course we want to give you guys Yona. And this is incredibly early for the NA East Coast. This match would have started at 8 a.m. And Trigger said, I really don't feel like playing too many games at 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. Like, I just don't play my best. And I think that's very reasonable. So we could use a wild card to let Trigger play a couple days in advance and a more reasonable time. Or we just say, like, all right, Trigger, you sit this one out. And we'll let ShoWTimE play. And then next week you can play again, or the week after that. Because the time slots are often 8 a.m. for Trigger or 10 a.m. But if it's 10 a.m., that's just a little bit better. That's still early, but we can live with that. But if you have to play a competitive match at 8 a.m., you're going to have to wake up at 7, right, to get a couple warm-up games. And we just felt it's too early in the season to use wildcards for that kind of a reason. We're happy that we have Serral who's able to play today. So that's why we went with these 3. But don't worry, we're not benching Trigger or anything. We love Trigger. He's played great. He is great. And you guys will see him plenty of times throughout the season. What is always fun for me as a football fan is that at the end of the season they play all the matches at the same time. I find it really cool to follow. It makes me happy. And we are about to witness 9 games in the Eredivisie play all at once. And that just sparks joy to me. Thank you, Andraj, for the 16 months. Is there anything very important today? Is it the Excelsior game that's important? Take a quick look at that. Yeah, they're battling. So around spot 16 it's important. ShoWTimE is Basilisk for this season. It is Basilisk plus ShoWTimE. Or Basilisk plus Big. But ShoWTimE obviously cannot participate in the WTL-Quest by himself. And since Jona's not always available at the moment, we don't really want to send out me every single week. Or at least for 5 or 6 or 7 play days. So we decided to team up together with ShoWTimE. This will be his 3rd appearance for Basilisk and ShoWTimE. And unfortunately it hasn't gone mega hot so far. He had a 1-1 against Cristiano in the opening playday. And he lost 0-2 against Jaishi last playday. When we played against DKZ. And he actually had a really good start in game 1 too. So let's hope that D-Mauer can just do D-Mauer things. Because we know we teamed up with an absolute stud. And that's not because he's got great posture or that he's handsome. He's a great player. And I'm sure that the results will come. Bottom left side, guys. He's on the top side of the scoreboard. Can be a tiny bit confusing, so keep your eyes on that. It is a Cyan, Chinese Protoss. One of the many great Chinese Protoss players. And in the top left side, spawning in the red, representing Basilisk and ShoWTimE. It's ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE has a pretty early scout here. I wonder if he's going to pick up on the fact that something is missing. Cyan has mined out those mineral patches very early here on Amphion. And that means that he could potentially go for the closest Stargate ever. And ShoWTimE goes for a 1-gate fast expensive. This can get a bit dire. This can get a bit hard. Cyan doesn't know what we know. But I'm not sure if ShoWTimE knows what we know. We'll keep an eye on it. Wow. Okay. Wow, that's actually very cool. That's what I was thinking as well, by the way, Legoland. Because I believe that Trigger has that hoodie too. So when we looked, I was like, what? The glasses, the hair, the hoodie. I was like, what? This is actually very cool. So what Cyan is doing here, guys, is that he's going to mine the minerals. And then he's going to click his probe back into the gas. Then you get gas. And like this, you can actually mine out these mineral patches very quickly with just one probe. Gas becomes minerals. Minerals becomes gas. Gas becomes minerals. And that is a way to actually mine out a path into your opponent's natural. This is incredibly smart. And if it wasn't happening against Basilisk, I would be losing my mind right now and I'd be raving. I think ShoWTimE is kind of dead here. This is incredibly smart, big brain gaming. I gotta appreciate it, but it makes me very sad. D. Mauer is just... he's getting pretty unlucky so far in the WTL-Guest-Member. He is going to see it now. Oh no, go deeper, please. No. Oh, go deeper. Why don't you go deeper, mate? I just don't see a world where you hold this. It's 4 gateways, guys. A good old-fashioned 4-gate. But that 4-gate is going to show up in your freaking natural when you're going 1-gate fast spin with an Oracle. Even Max Packs would look at this and be like, yeah, sorry, I don't want that smoke. And there is no one on this planet better in defending nonsense. And ShoWTimE still doesn't see it. Then the Prince of Denmark. That Oracle... Okay, we are building a Void Ray. Is there a world where ShoWTimE pulls off the most... Okay, hey, no shield battery. No shield battery. Well, if there is a world... This is how that world looks like. Where your first Oracle flies to the other side of the map, forces a couple of defensive weapons, Oracle lives, 4 probes. Alright, Demauer, we need batteries. We need the best micro ever. Yeah, Cyan can just walk into the main base too, no? Honestly, I kind of feel that Cyan should have just sent the first 2 adepts in, and after that 4-gate. ShoWTimE now knows what's up. Maybe we can create some sort of a very cool Sim City. We don't have a force field. He's gonna work on that pylon, but it's not just the pylon ShoWTimE. It's a whole bunch of stalkers. We can warp in another unit. We can get a second Void Ray. Like, these stalkers will not have blink. I mean, it's almost impossible, but I want to have a tiny bit of copium. Okay, ShoWTimE guns down a stalker. Adepts are incredibly problematic. But ShoWTimE could technically stabilize on one base for a while. Just mine off one mineral patches. The Void Ray micro is kind of good. We do need to kill these stalkers though. If we don't kill stalkers, it's all for nothing. One shot on one of these low HP stalkers. ShoWTimE gets the double kill and the third stalker is very low. Maybe now we can pull like all the probes. What if we fight with 3 Void Rays in every single probe? Guys, every single probe and 3 Void Rays? What do you say? What do you say? Prismatic alignment, justice reigns from above. We lose 7 workers. I feel like that was a big mistake. We should have pulled the probes from the low ground, no? Imagine if we can trap those stalkers there. I think you wipe the floor with each and every single one of them, but there is a tiny bit of hope. Coco's second overcharge should be ready here. Cyan's army is really not going to get any better. We are going to get a 4th Void Ray. What am I looking at? ShoWTimE might actually be winning this. 4 Void Rays against a bunch of stalkers. I think as long as the micro is okay, as long as we stay close to the batteries, we've got a good shot here. Prismatic alignment activated on all of them. 3 Void Rays should turn around and fight, and that is exactly what they do. Oh my. Tobias. D. Mauer. What? And Cyan is now going to send it, trying to kill 4 Void Rays. Prismatic was still active for a little bit, but I don't think that is quite it, guys. I really don't think that is quite it for Cyan. He does reduce the Void Ray count a little, but he's still down 5 workers. ShoWTimE is mining across 2 different mineral lines. Okay, we need a fresh Void Ray, and we get the save, we get the kill. We might lose one Void here, but we kill so many freaking Stalkers in return. I'm starting to be very confident. And I do think Cyan really dropped the ball here. He could have played this out so much better. The strategy was 10 out of 10, but the execution was not there. Demour for Basilisk and ShoWTimE takes the 1-0 lead in what felt like was an absolutely impossible setup. This team series looks so one-sided. Or lopsided is what you said. Well, Mystery Gaming is 2-0 so far in the season. We are 0-2. But yeah, I will gladly have this be incredibly one-sided and boring. I would be very happy. You know, Reynor, they gave me a higher rating than Trigger and ShoWTimE. By farming the Chinese commentator a couple of times, I officially have more ELO than Trigger and Demour. I think the Oracle died at one point. I was looking at it, but it never showed up anymore. We can go back into the game a little and see where it died. I think this is where it dies, in the bottom left side. It's in the bottom left side. Does he ever send it back in? Now he sends it back in. You guys can see it over here. Drops the stasis trappy. It's still alive. Gets back in. Yeah, Oracle actually made it. Oracle made it all the way to the end of the game. It's in the bottom left side, and ShoWTimE did try to drop a few stasis trappies. We never got to see if they were big or not, but 3-0. We will take that. I love a 3-0. The Basilisk Beast. I am ready. I'm ready to pull my weight. And I weigh a lot. One of these playdays, guys. I feel like if Yona is available, we can maybe go for a nice mix with like Reynor, Roddy, Yona. Just 3 stars, you know. Just 3 all-time goats. That'd be one hell of a lineup. At least 66% of it. I think Cyan could have played it out in many different ways. And he probably needed a earlier shield battery, obviously. So, if you 4-gate, time is of the essence. And you just need to go for it. Warping in 4 stalkers at home, turning around to deal with an Oracle, that's not really the way that you ever want to execute any 4-gate. But I still don't think that that was the biggest problem. I would have liked to see him go for 2 adepts first, you shade those adepts into the main, and then you just run 8 stalkers into the natural. And you just start battling. Yeah, Cyan was a little bit indecisive. Felt like he wasn't totally certain how he wanted to play it. Took his time. And the moment he walked into the main, like the voids were in a really good spot. Out of range of those stalkers. Maybe ShoWTimE could have pulled a couple probies from the natural. And he would have been able to trap all of them at the ramp. That would have been 10 out of 10. But even when he didn't do that, he maintained a pretty high void ray count. Killed stalkers. And take it from there. Will we get Serral cam? Yeah, there's a good chance, I think. Good chance we'll get a Serral cam. One match day, the Proto Superstars, Roddy, ShoWTimE, and Trigger. That'd be a very cool lineup too. If we want to give our Zerg brethren a breaky. I kind of hope that Serral plays in his military outfit. That would be amazing. But I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see him soon, guys. After the PvP, we get to see Yona. Yona, Jason, Hayes, Sotala. Bottom right side, made a frowny face there, and I can understand that, because the strategy was very cool. The execution was there, it didn't get scouted. At that point, you're supposed to win with such a big range threat. He didn't. It is Mystery Gaming's Cyan. They are down 0-3. Against us, baby. Basilisk plus ShoWTimE. You guys can see the tiny big logo there in the top right side. I feel like they could have done a better job with our logo. I don't think it has to be all black background. But okay. Something went wrong somewhere. Maybe we can fix it. It's supposed to just be white, and then that tiny big logo is supposed to be in the top right. It's not supposed to be a black square, but we'll get on it, guys. You don't even see the big logo. It's tiny in the top right. Because 4 out of 5 are Basilisk. 1 out of 5 is big. By the way, is it confirmed that our man Rogue is coming or not coming to Dallas? Because to me it makes a lot of sense that Rogue is coming to Dallas. Because that is his one shot to qualify for the Esports World Cup. He would have to finish top 4, but I think if he's grinding non-stop playing 24/7, he's got a tiny chance. And I feel like this is going to be the best thing ever about Dallas, and it's going to be the most hyped DreamHack we've had in a very long time. That every single player out there, even Queen Coco, could still make it to the biggest Starcraft tournament ever, and that would be the Esports World Cup. And all they have to do is finish top 4 at the ESL Masters in Dallas. Upper 3 Zelda could still make it. My pal Cell could be waving that Canadian flag over in Saudi Arabia later this year. It is a bit surprising that Coco has not punched her ticket yet into the Esports World Cup, but I believe that Dallas is the place to make it happen. We saw what Cell is capable of in Atlanta. Imagine, you take that skill and you bring it to an even bigger stage, a bigger state. Texas? Whew. I mean, Oliveira is shaking in his boots. If Upper 3 is bringing out his TVTs. Are you coming as well to Dallas, Heaven? Please tell me that Heaven and Holden are coming so I can take a picture with both of you. That would be amazing. Is Reynor still in Korea? Yes, he is. Reynor is flying to China in a couple days because he is going to be your official caster for Stars War. I'm sure that Reynor is absolutely thrilled about the fact that he can cast an 8-man tournament with 0 Zergs inside of it. To make things even better, we're gonna kick things off with a Spirit against Maru TVT. Woo! Reynor is buzzing. Cyan is once more, guys, doing something that's a bit different. As you guys can see, there is Blink on the way and 2 more gateways being warped in the bottom left side here of Golden Aura, or at least 1. So he's ready to just go for a 4-gate Blink Stalker all in. That's very good if your opponent goes for a quick expand. Or at least very good. It has potential. If ShoWTimE is just chilling on 1 base, I don't know how much I love that for Cyan. I kind of feel that Cyan is going to have to take the gold himself. And he is going to take the gold. Yeah, I like that. If it's 1 base against 1 base, I think it's completely okay to take the gold here if you're Cyan. Solo cast? No, Reynor will be casting the entire tournament together with Red Bunny. I believe that the chemistry will be off the charts. Reynor plus Red Bunny. It's going to be awesome. I'll be watching Reynor. I'll be watching. Oh. ShoWTimE has killed 2 probes. That's not a whole lot yet. This is a bit risky, by the way, because going for an expand at this moment, we don't have a battery here. What I would really love from ShoWTimE is a battery on the high ground that can actually heal units on the low ground. And on the left side of that pylon, Stalker count is decent. Immortal is doing its thing. Maybe the Immortal can get 1 final shot off. Seems like that has not happened. What are we going for here? Cyan has not activated the barrier yet, and he doesn't really seem to be too worried about that Immortal. He just kind of wants to kill everything else. Second Immortal is now out though. I kind of feel that Cyan is playing a little bit of everything. As a ShoWTimE, his Oracle is going to find this setup in the bottom left side. Activates Pulsar Beam to gun down 1 more worker. Whatever Cyan was hoping for is not happening. And now he's just in a bit of an awkward spot. And he's sitting here, he's like, do I go for it? Yes or no? Do I send it? It's like, I can't really do that because if he leaves 0 units at home, there is a chance that the Oracle will kill too many probes. So all you can really do is just kind of contain your opponent. But this kind of stuff, sometimes people think if you have the gold, you're always richer. But this is not the case. Like ShoWTimE, who has 33 workers across 2 blue mineral fields, is actually going to be just as rich, if not richer, than Cyan is, who's got 29 workers and he's got a couple of them at the gold. Basically, the gold can give you similar income to the blue minerals, and you need less workers for it. So 12 workers can mine as efficiently as 16 workers do. But it's not that the 12 workers mine a whole lot more. So this game really is not going anywhere for Cyan. I think he knows that. What he also doesn't have, guys, is a robo. Does not have an oracle either. Doesn't have a cannon. That man could just straight up die to a couple of DTs. And if ShoWTimE wins this game, we have officially won our first clan war of the season. Somebody's O had to go. And it was either the 0 losses of Mystery Gaming, or it was the 0 wins of Basilisk. And it seems that our O is going. Okay, Cyan did just warp in a robo now. Where is that robo? That was the caster curse. So let's see about that then, mate. That is a shield battery that I do believe is going to be in range of the pylon that's powering the robo. But I still really like this for ShoWTimE. I feel like there is a lot of potential. Yeah, 0 is also going. I know. Somebody's O had to go. And it turns out that all the O's are going. There was also a world where nobody's O had to go. Cyan is in serious danger of dying real soon. The 2 Dark Templars have been warped in on the other side of the map or at home. Where did we warp in them DTs? At home? ShoWTimE says if you're gonna attack me without detection, I'm just gonna warp in a couple of DTs. I guess ShoWTimE wants to make sure he doesn't get A moved. I mean, there's just no universe where Cyan wins here, because A, there are stasis traps, and B, there are DTs. Oh my god, he blinks into the Immortals, the DTs, battery overcharge. Cyan says, what's a meat grinder? I don't know where my dictionary is, but I don't have it on me. Protoss meat grinder, I don't believe that's the thing. Well, turns out it is a thing. Those are nice force fields, by the way, for Cyan, as he does get 2 out of the 3 Immortals. Actually, those were excellent 10 out of 10 force field. Gonna give him some kudos for that. But I'm afraid for the man from China that he's gonna need a little more than that. Now the Archon count goes up. Stalker count isn't that high anymore. Really wants to get that 1 observer. Will get that observer. I'd love 1 DT on the other side of the map. That second wave of the fight actually went really good for Cyan. I still believe that ShoWTimE should be fine here. We have a War Prism as well, where we can maybe pick up that Immortal. Probably we're not going to do that. The Archons are derping a little. This is not the prettiest defense of ShoWTimE's life, but we can live with it. We still have an Oracle. We've got a battle economy. We've got Archons and batteries, and we should not die against a couple Zealots, even though it's starting to get a little bit scary now. Come on, War Prism, please. Why is our War Prism inactive? Why does the War Prism refuse to fight? Most of the Zealots are gone. ShoWTimE supply is dropping a little. We are going to use battery overcharge after all. That Archon was very close to dying. Now the battery has died. Ay. D-Mauer making life a little bit hard on himself. I do believe with a Pro Pool we're going to be fine, but now we're going to lose a lot of probes. Jeez Louise. 1 Immortal is about to come out. We're going to warp in another DT defensively. No, this is an offensive DT. Finally, War Prism, please. Why is the Prism not doing anything? The Archon dying is actually very problematic because the Archon in the back of the Stalker army would have been very useful. There is a shield battery in the high. Oh no! The forward blink by Cyan right when ShoWTimE picked up his Immortal. This was the biggest trade-up Prism I've ever seen in my life. That 1 DT is in the main base right now, though, on the other side of the map. The War Prism let 3 Archons and an Immortal die for nothing, and then when it finally picked up the Immortal, even though the Immortal was being healed up by a battery, it ended up dying. I think killing all those probes though with our DT, and now some of these blinks onto the high ground, battery on the low ground, Coco's 7th overcharge of the game. I still think we're good enough. This is probably not the defense that ShoWTimE is going to be incredibly proud of. He's not going to show it to you guys on his stream. He's not gonna show it to the family, but we will take it. A 14 worker lead. Gold is gonna be mined out as well in the near future. We still have DTs. We've got a robo. And the okay, that's nice. There is no observer in the bottom left side. Yeah, I was thinking about the ping a little, guys, but normally the way that it works is that game 1 is played on US West, and that's where you have higher ping, and then game 2 would be on Central. No, it's actually West both games, right, against China. Yeah, never mind. But I mean, we're playing on the same server as we did in game 1, and on game 1 I actually thought that ShoWTimE did a 10 out of 10 job with his Void Race, which I would say is harder than picking up an Immortal, picking up an Archon. But hey, who cares? Who cares, guys? If you're 0-2, we're not going to be picky. We ain't striving for perfection over here. Not today. Today, we're just striving for a W. Yeah, I know, Reynor. I just said that. It's West every game. I know. But I still think that in game 1, his micro was very good. Is it best of 3 or best of 5? The entire clan war is a best of 7, but the best of 7 is over. 4-0. We're back, baby. We are back. ShoWTimE laughing a little as he gets his first ever 2-0 in WTL Codes. We knew, D-Mauer. We knew. Never lost any faith, mate. 4-0, but we still get some. Yona. Thank you to Tobias for the 49 months. Indeed, perfect timing. Did it. ShoWTimE 2-0 is the correct outcome. Coffee versus Serral. Woo! Coffee 2-0. Good luck with that. Serral 2-0. Yeah, I like it. 1-1 draw. For the first time in a while, we get to see the great Iona Sotala. As you guys can see, I really have to run some ads, so I'm going to do that now. Otherwise, they happen in the middle of the Serral game, and you guys get angry. So 3 minutes. Be right back. Serral against Coffee coming up. It's going to be sick. I'm excited. There he is. There he is. Bam, 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 bam. Yes! Unfortunately, no military outfit, guys. Shout out to Rextor for gifting a subby to D-Mauer. Alright, the clan war is over, but we obviously want a proper win. We need to work on our map differential a little bit as well. In the top right side of El Cyone, we're looking at the main base of a Chinese Terran who's got the privilege of being the first player this season to play against Serral. This is Coffee for Mystery Gaming. And in the bottom left side, it's our GOAT. He's here, still playing some games. Representing Basilisk and ShoWTimE, it is Serral. It makes me happy. Welcome back, GOAT. Welcome back. It's Mother's Day in Finland. It's Mother's Day in the Netherlands as well. In a lot of countries. Maybe not worldwide, but that is not a Finland exclusive. I gave my mommy a call this morning. Don't worry, guys. I was a sweet son. Yeah, Cyber John, I am indeed in charge of what you guys see. That is correct. Actually, I would love some McDonald's. Might have some time for McDonald's today. We'll see if we can sneak it in. I think after this we have a very fun clan war between Shopify and Team Liquid. All the matches are bangers, so I was not planning on an interview today, and it's also a bit hard with the time zones and whatnot. The interviews will be making a comeback, but we just need to properly plan that out. My McDonald's order is always a spicy McChicken with a large fries, a Coke Zero to make sure that I take care of my diet, some mayonnaise, and we'll take it from there. Hello, Countess. Maybe an extra cheeseburger. Diet Coke? No, Diet Coke is not the same as Coke Zero. Coke Zero. Actually, most of the time it's double mayonnaise. I'll be honest. I get a double mayo. McDonald's nuggets are goated, especially compared to Burger King and other places. McDonald's way better in that regard. Yuck, Max. Where's the exit? I'll help you find it, Muppet. There it is, mate. There it is. So nice of Roddy. Helping people out all over the shop. Serral's got a 3-base setup going as the Zergling speed has finished up. Coffee's Reaper is in the main. Coffee's a really good TVP player. He has been for a long time. His TVZ feels a bit odd to me. I feel like he's pretty good in the first 8-9 minutes. And after that he often seems a bit confused on how he wants to play it out. I have the feeling that Serral is willing to take his time here today. Just get some macro going. Show us those mechanics, as we're gonna drop the Roach Farm early as well. Maybe worried that Coffee is doing something very cheeky. Serral does love the roaches in ZVT. It's actually been a roach fan for quite some time. Reynor tries to get on board with it every now and then. Believes in it until he plays Liquid Clump. Stops believing. Sees Serral win. Starts believing again. Plays against Clem. Stops believing. The never-ending circle between Reynor and the roaches. Hellions and a Cloak Banshee. So it's the most standard, traditional, macro-oriented TVZ opening coming out of Coffee here. So he's not willing to do something different, something unique. There's still money on the line as well for every single map win you get in the regular season. I believe it is 250 RMB, and it will potentially get bumped up to 500. That's not guaranteed yet. Which translates to roughly $35, $40. After that video you sent me yesterday, Reynor, I kind of believe it. It's a very cute move by Coffee. Having his units in the perfect spot there with the side blocker. Even though you would think that with the Zelnaga Watchtower, Serral should be able to see across it, but apparently couldn't take control of it. Lol, which one? Was it yesterday or the day before? Where I said like it looked like you were in a sauna. And that's not all I said. That was yesterday. Man, these admins. I'm not even done with this clan war yet, and they're like, next round versus a Twisted Fairy. Please decide the lineups before next Tuesday. Like, man, we're not even done yet. Let me enjoy Yona in peace before I start worrying about the lineup. Small opening here, perhaps, for Coffee to go for the drones, but Coffee says, no, I'm not going to go for it. The quality is not as hot right now as it was earlier, which is a tiny bit annoying. I'm counting pixels. A serious prediction. Obviously, I believe that Yona is going to win 2-0. We're working with a 21 work elite. 11 overlords for Serral. Sweet baby Jesus. Serral says, I'm not going to be supply blocked anymore for the rest of this century. I've hit my one supply block for the year 2024, and that is it. That's where I draw the line. The Banshees do find a tiny chance now in the natural to deal some damage. -5 drones. Good job by Coffee in that regard. Serral does drop the Hydralisk then, fires up the Hive. He's got double evil, so he's just kind of chilling, but he can still build a lot of roaches and ravages if he wants to as well. He's gonna replace the drones that he lost instead. Thank you, Hanlel, for the 10 months. Happy late birthday. Thank you, matey. My birthday was amazing. I've thanked everybody many times, but it really was an amazing day for me. Obviously, Vicky was amazing too. She got a lot of love and thank yous. Yeah. Very. What is Serral doing, guys? Serral's been watching the WCS America. He's 145 out of 192 supply, and it's 6 overlords. Did Serral watch Chem? Did Serral just say, man, the drinking game that you guys were playing when Chem was playing was excellent? I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that you guys have an absolutely banging Sunday. That is it. Dropalords. I mean, even if we want to go for some Dropalords, I really don't think we need that many this early. We're close. Man, Yona loves the Ovies today. These are not a laser overlords. These are Chem overlords if I've ever seen some. This is actually a pretty scary army. Now we've got Vipers on the way. The Lurker then is not quite done yet. Coffee stims forward. Guys, is there a world where we are in a tiny bit of trouble? Now the clan war is already over. We have won. That makes me happy. But Yona's macro has just not been as flawless as we are used to. He's lost a couple drones here and there. He's doing a lot of things at once. And this is an absolutely insanely powerful Terran army for this phase of the game. Serral desperately needs to get his hands on a couple of Lurkers. But those Lurkers won't have seismic spines yet. What we do have is Vipers though, and maybe we can abduct a couple of the tanks. Did not think that Coffee against Serral would give us this much excitement. Here come the Vipers. There is abduct number 1. Here is abduct number 2. But this might just be the moment where Coffee says, alright, if there's ever a moment for me, this is it. Yeah, the Lurkers are making their ways to the front line. With or without their hive tech upgrades. It's so difficult for Coffee to get up a ramp like that. For sure, Serral is forced to cancel that base, but in the end, we abducted a couple of tanks and we are okay-ish. Couple Liberators are gonna split up as well. Marines stim forward. If it's just Marines and tanks against the Roaches and Hydras, that's where Coffee's obviously gonna take great fights. Coffee knows that the spiky boys are out. And Lurkers is the one thing that he truly has to respect. Serral is looking for a few more abducts. Blinding Cloud is something that has potential too. A lot of big stims on Coffee's army. You guys can see most of these Marines are no longer fully healed up. The medevac count seems a little bit low. These medevacs are overworked and underpaid. Kind of like a real healthcare system. This is not the fight, Coffee. Coffee has learned from Benjamin Baker. And there is a reason why Benjamin Baker is now playing with elephants. As he just stims forward into a whole bunch of Lurkers. And Yona's like, well, not terribly exciting. We'll take it, Yona. We'll take it. 5-0, baby. That was a Benny B fight if I've ever seen one. Army heavily overstimmed. Medevacs out of energy. Yeah. Hello, Ben. Speaking of the devil. Or in this case, the devil Terran. You see that, Ben? Are you proud of Coffee? He went full you. Coffee needs to be careful. Before you know it, if you stim forward into Lurkers like that a few more times, you too will be playing with Delhi. And you'll be sending 12 workers around one elephant that's spraying, making sure that the elephant stays healthy. Gotta be careful, Coffee. Stimming into Lurkers like that. It's a slippery slope, my friend. My friend Benjamin Baker was an excellent Terran. He was willing to max out, play some macro games, repair the Thors. He did some multitasking. And then he had that little devil on his shoulder that told him, like, just stim forward, man. Just stim into those Lurkers. It's just a little stim. What's the worst thing that could happen? You're with friends here. Oh, look at Ben now. Lost all of his hair. Playing Delhi and England every single day in a different game. It's dangerous, Coffee. And my advice to you would be not even once. Stay pure. One more map. We have obviously already secured our W for today. That's nice. Finally, our 0 is gone. And we can start making our way through the table. Onwards and upwards. Next up is Twisted Ferry, apparently. Serral does not look mega thrilled to be playing these games. But Serral's also his own worst critic, so maybe he's a tiny bit frustrated with a few of the things that he did in that game. Perhaps felt like it should have been better. Obviously a 6-0 would be awesome. ELO is very similar to MMR, but then this ELO is determined only by your performance in WTL events. So whether it's the Team League or the Kung Fu Cups or Masters Coliseum. And based upon your performance in these WTL events, that is how they calculate your ELO. Top left side of Goes the River. We're looking at the main base of our Chinese Terran for Mystery Gaming. It was Coffee. And here in the top right side, welcome back our GOAT. It is BASILISK Serral. Fighting for BASILISK plus ShoWTimE. Is ShoWTimE more like a stand-in for BASILISK? Yeah, to see it like a temporary partnership. A lot of teams do this in the WTL. And ShoWTimE obviously is not eligible to play all by himself. Just like Hero Marine, for instance, isn't able to play all by himself. And since we cannot use Serral every single playday, as you guys know, he's busy fulfilling the mandatory military service. We decided to team up with ShoWTimE. Everybody on BASILISK loves ShoWTimE. I think you guys love seeing a player like ShoWTimE play in WTL Code S. So it was just a match made in heaven. We're off to a rough start, but it doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish. Thank you to Dictus for the 34 months and Squirrelish with the 9 months. Appreciate it, guys. I just thought it was 3 months, by the way, for D-Mauer. Look at you, Rexy. Well, guys, D-Mauer is set for a fantastic summer. 3 months of a Ruddy sub. Yeah, I saw it. Seems that Ajax is playing their first good game of the year. It's a little late, playday 33, but nice for my friends in Amsterdam. Maybe it's the second after the match against Ludo Goretz last summer. Ghost River is a funny map, as obviously you are incredibly set in your ways on how you can expand. I guess the only place you can mix it up a little bit is your fourth. Some players like to take that center base as their fourth, but it's really not that hot. There are not many moments where taking the base in the center of the map is a better option than taking the one underneath your main. It's been a long time since we've had a map like this. When I first saw it, I thought this was going to be a fantastic map. I was like, I'm going to love watching games on it. I'm going to love playing on it. After we've had it now for 6 weeks or so, I'm not a very big fan. Don't enjoy playing on it. Watching has been okay. We've seen a couple bangers. We've definitely seen some cool creative strategies. To play on it, I find it a tad boring. I'm surprised, by the way, that none of you guys have asked me about the European Song Festival yet. I was almost afraid to go live today because I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to talk about that Dutch donkey all day, but very proud of y'all. Apparently, literally nobody cares. Nice! Because I do not want to talk about that guy. Sensitive subject for the Dutch? Not at all. I know some Dutchies were very fired up. I am not one of them. Do I watch any basketball? I haven't watched any live basketball yet, but I obviously do keep track of the scores. I like seeing which city is going to be awesome. You were on a birthday party yesterday? Was it your own birthday party, Ian Blue? Did you postpone it till Saturday? How did I miss Serral? You're not missing Serral. Next clan war, by the way, is awesome. I know a lot of you guys are here because you love Basilisk and you obviously love watching the GOAT. But don't forget that Team Liquid against Shopify is coming up after this. I think that's an awesome match. We can take a look at the lineup soon. But I'm excited for every single match there. I have no idea who's going to win that. Two of the bigger orcs that we have currently in Starcraft 2 going up against each other. Two teams that I love a lot. I love the Shopify Rebellion. I love Team Liquid. I think it's going to be sick. Very happy to watch Serral. On one hand, I'm a tiny bit sad that the matches don't matter that much because we've already won 5-1 or 6-0. Not much of a difference, but it's obviously always cool to watch Yona. But it would have been mega hype if this match would have somehow mattered. But I'm glad that it doesn't. Coffee was close to killing a queen there, as he's got another Hellion Banshee opening here. We've got pretty quick upgrades, that is maybe worth keeping an eye on. third orbital is still sitting in the main. Kind of feels to me that if there was ever a map where you can safely float over that orbital early as a Terran, this is it. Maybe against Reynor, that's a bit scarier, because Reynor obviously loves making links early on and loves looking for openings and counterattacks. But Serral is kind of sitting at home with his roaches. It would make sense to me if Coffee just starts muling the third. You fly over the orbital, you start saturating it ASAP. Yeah, took his time in that regard. Map wins do matter, yes, perhaps. There is a world where it matters. Also, there is money on the line for every single game. Around $35 for every single map that a team wins in the regular season. So that is one way to make sure the players always do their best. Even if the clan war is over, we get the full 3 points. Mystery Gaming gets 0 points. Map score could matter in potential tiebreakers leading into the playoffs. And there is money on the line. And that's how we calculate our ELO, guys. You don't think that ELO is something we don't take serious over here, right? Serral's maintaining a 20 worker lead as we have 6 more drones on the way. So that's going to be closer to a 25, 26 worker lead. Of course, Coffee will still build SCVs and he's going to try to close that gap a little. But so far, Yona, as Lambo would call him, is doing the best job ever in being the helmet Zerg. Just being incredibly safe. Not really taking any chances. Units are always in the perfect defensive positions. There's not a whole lot that Coffee can get going for himself. I feel like if 5 Hellions and a Reaper attack that hatch, he might be able to get a cancel. Coffee has turned those units around, and at the same time he's making some progress with these Marines that do have 1-1, have stim. Combat shield is not quite ready yet. He's still battling that hatch, by the way. I would love to see. He's actually gonna get that. He's not gonna get it. No, no, no. Von says that Coffee is so dead. I mean, that's not a very hot take. Technically, this is a game where not a whole lot has happened yet. And I feel like if this would be Clam that we're watching against a Zerg who's playing Roaches, we'd be talking about how the supply can be a bit deceiving. Because there are a lot of Roaches out on the map. And that it all comes down to once the Ghost Academy gets dropped. Yeah, Coffee is not really a late game specialist. And I'm not saying he's an all-inner or something, because he's obviously very good in going up to 3 bases. But it feels that he does his best work of 2 and 3 base setups in the first 10-12 minutes of a game. If you keep that in the back of your mind, yes, then this game looks incredibly grim for Coffee. Because he's no Maru, he's no Clam, he's not that quick with his transitions. And just trying to get the job done with Marine Tank against Hive-Tech Serral that's got 6 lurkers on the way has been pretty much untouchable. How many drones did Serral lose in this game, guys? Did we lose any? Maybe like 1, 2, 3 against the Banshee. Yeah, if you look at it like that, this game looks incredibly grim and it's a bit of a one-sided affair. I think he's done a pretty good job in that regard, Jeff. I think out of all the things you want to knock him for, I don't think you can say that he let the creep get out of control. Serral does not have that much creep. That was not the fight for Marines, by the way. I know Marines are good. But we need a few more units here. Coffee does eventually find his reinforcements. And Serral does queue up 5 Dropper Lords. Are we gonna just lurker drop the natural? That would be kind of cool. These lurkers are a little bit exposed, so Coffee takes out 2 of them. Coffee! Oh my goodness, he's gonna do this, Coffee! What? Coffee really loves Benjamin Baker, doesn't he? Oh my goodness. It is safe to say that we have figured out who Coffee's favorite Terran player is. It is our Elephant Man. These are some incredibly ambitious forward stims upper ramp into choke points. As Serral is counter-attacking with some Roaches, is also going to get some value out of these Vipers. Double up Duck, -2 tanks. Coffee is going to stim forward into Lurkers again. He really does want these games to be over, right? This was not the clan war for Mystery Gaming. They are still in a great spot in the regular season. They have 2 wins and 1 loss after today. here against Basilisk and ShoWTimE. All we needed, guys, was to see Yona in the lineup. This is pretty good defense, by the way, by Coffee against the Roaches, but he's gonna need a little more than that. And Feyenoord just scored. Who scored for us, guys? Who scored for us? Tell me it's my boy Santi, or is it Ueda? Was it Hanchko? Is there any better feeling out there than it's Sunday afternoon? We are about to get a 6-0 on the board and Feyenoord takes the lead. Woo, look at them lurker shots as bio units get absolutely obliterated. The blinding clouds made it impossible for Coffee as units to really get in the position they wanted to be in. And there's nothing really went Coffee's way in this best of two. There is no other way to put it. I don't think Coffee is very comfortable with the Ghost now. Maybe against the lesser Zerg, he would be willing to sneak them out a bit earlier, but yeah, perhaps against Serral, he just felt that he needs to get the job done early with Marines, Marauders, tanks. But Serral was bulletproof. I don't want to sing for you guys, but I kind of do. But I won't. This time, baby, Basilisk will be bulletproof. 6-0. We're back. We've never been more back. Sure, we started off in a bit of a bumpy patch, 0-2 in the regular season. Well, we see that Yona, and we are so back. Reynor 2-0 over Strange, ShoWTimE 2-0 over Cyan, and Serral looked good as always. 6-0, and we can start dreaming about the playoffs. Sorry, we're not gonna do an interview because I really want to watch Team Liquid against the Shopify Rebellion too. And also, like, I don't know if Yona has time for it. We didn't really properly schedule this, but the interviews will be making a comeback. Just give us some time, guys. Congrats to Yona. Congrats to us. 2-0 is awesome. We are happy. Skillas is in the chat saying now it's time for the match of the day. And this, honestly, this is a banger. I'm incredibly excited for it. We have a TVT, Clan vs Beyond. Then we have a TVP between Cure and RotterdaM. And last but not least, we've got Big Nikita, who's going to play some PVCs for us against Scarlet. I'm excited for it. Looks awesome. Sounds awesome. No idea who's going to win this clan war. Maybe like it will give a small edge to Team Liquid, guys. I think small edge to Team Liquid, but if Shopify wins, it's really not the craziest thing ever. I think we can all agree on that. I will see if in the next playday, guys, we play against Twisted Fairy on the 24th of May. Woo! Thanks, by the way, for them scheduling us on a Friday, because I'm actually leaving on this day. This is the day that I'm flying to America. It's nice that I can actually cast this for you guys. We'll do an interview after Twisted Fairy. Twisted Fairy against Basilisk. Win, lose, or draw. Draws are not possible. We're gonna do an interview.